This week I'm going to work on a bunch of different projects here in the shop. Right now, here is a Bushcrafter V1 that I am busy hand sanding. Taking it up to 400 grit using some wet sandpaper. I'm not using any oils at this stage. I did use a little bit of oil in the beginning of sanding. Now I don't. This knife is going to be paired up with, follow along, this set of desert ironwood scales. Then I also have this JGT2 with some stabilized poplar with some blue-green dye in it. Kind of sweet. Also need to hand sand it. And so that's two of the projects that I'm going to be working on. Then I also have, this another JGT2 that I'll begin working this week and I am hoping to finish it up in the next week. It is in demo steel. I believe this is Odin's Eye. I can't remember. I need to look at my notes and I can't see the pattern so well. Got around to also have these two knives here. This is actually not my work. It is my blades, but the handle is not my work. It is a project I did for some guys about a year ago, and I've just been asked to finish up the handle on these two, and I'm going to do so. And I'm also going to make a couple of sheaths with some nice camo kydex. That is all you'll be going to see of this project, because I'm not going to film or show it anywhere else. Yes, and then that's my table. Just been doing some work on the computer, the phone, chatting with customers, potential customers, a few companies and such. Yeah, and I got around to clean up the shop, so now it's nice. I can see the floor again. Got my mill. These two, this is Turkish walnut that I'm going to mill flat, cut into two scales, and prepare up for a special Bushcrafter that was ordered last night. And this one, the walnut burl, is stabilized, is for the demo steel JGT2 you just saw. So same procedure, take it into the mill, and mill all the sides, 4 sides, cut it up into scales, and mill the scales flat. So that's the process of those. And yes, I'm also hoping to get around to sharpen up this set of kitchen knives. There's a little story behind that. It is my set, and I don't know. I think that's it for the introduction. Now I want to get into hand sanding this, and then the JGT2 over there, and get them ready for glue up. just finished up sanding, hand sanding, sorry, the two custom orders here that I showed you just before, a JGT2 and a Bushcraft V1. This is actually for the same customer. This fire steel is going to match that knife. And back in December, I actually got around to finish up the two sheaths for those knives, as I knew I was going to make them. And they look like this. Green leather sheath, made for right side carry, and this is for the Bushcrafter, dyed dark brown. Added a little bit of color contour to the sheath. I can't get it, yeah, I think you can see it a little bit here, but you can see it in pictures once it gets to that part in a couple of days. Now, with the fire steel holder on the side, right side carry also. Now, how did I get to make these two before I even made the knives? As this is two of my models, I know all the dimensions, the height of the blade, the thickness of the handle, all of that. I know the dimensions, the length of the blade, so I just have some template cut out in paper that I use to trace out on the leather, and that's how I make my leather sheaths. Right now I am cutting out templates into this thicker cardboard material. Previously, or until now, I've been using my templates just regular paper, printing paper, and they look like this, and that sucks. So I'm just tracing it onto cardboard and cutting it out. That's it, and then of course marking it. The Bushcraft V1 template standard, and then I also have a template for the Bushcraft with a fire steel holder attached to it. Time lapse. I marked it wrong. Just cutting out a small groove in the template and this is for me to be able to mark up the inside line of the spacer that's in the sheath. And the inside line is very important because it has to be at the correct length from the bend of the sheath to the edge, which is essentially the back of the spine of the knife and the edge, and there has to be enough room for it to slide in and out, but there can't be too much room because then the sheath will, or the knife will wiggle inside the sheath, and potentially that can cause the knife to cut into the spacer and wear it out, and maybe even cut into the stitching and tear up the sheath. So this is an important part, and I'm just taking my time to have my templates here that I've traced onto the cardboard template, and yes, this is the first one, Bushcraft V1. Now on to the next 3 sheaths here, or templates. I'm currently working on a Hunty, yes, and it is going to be in orange G10, so I'm going to test out this template right now. The Hunty template in action. I have the sheath here lined up, then I have my spacer here, and I need to cut out a belt loop also, and that is all of the leather parts I need for a sheath. The Hunty template, it works. So I finished up the leather sheath, got the edges buffed out, and now I'm going to work on this. I just drilled the holes out in the handle scales, orange G10 and black liners. I ground the bevels out about a month ago. As I thought this knife was gonna go to Finland, but it ended up didn't do that, so it has just been sitting up there for quite some time. I also just rounded up and cleaned up the plunge line, the part where the bevel meets the flats or ricasso here. Just cleaned that out with my Dremel, and that's why you see those sanding marks. So yeah, next up is to drill the to screw on the handle and then profile out the handle, and then work on the front part of the handle and get that nice and finish it, and then I can move over to hand sand the blade and glue it together. That's it. I'm going to go with stainless steel Kobe screws and a stainless steel lanyard tube. In the next 2 weeks, on and off, I'm going to work on this custom JGT2 in Damasteel. The pattern is Odin's Eye, and it is going to get this stabilized walnuts. Right now I am adding up, or just touching up the inside of the lanyard tube with some sandpaper. Right here it's just guided by the round file. I have some 400 grit sandpaper, and just put it in there, turn it around, and slowly drag it out. That's also the lanyard tube has been chamfered on both sides so that you don't get any sharp edges that potentially could ruin a paracord or something else that you put inside of your lanyard tube. It's the small details. That's what I think knife making is all about. The small details. Next up is to sand a finish on these two knives, the JGT2 with the blue-green stabilized Either this is maple or it's poplar. I'm not. It's poplar. Yeah, I just remember. That's what this is. And the handle on the Bushcrafter is desert ironwood. It is turning out really nicely. I can already see some beautiful grain in there. And once I get done sanding it, it is going to pop really nice. Also, the stabilized poplar. Going to finish up this Hunty with orange G10 orange G10 handle scales and black liners. Got it glued up a couple of days ago on Tuesday, I think. And then it has just been sitting on the table since. So steel pins, steel Corby screws, sorry, and a lanyard tube right there. So this is what it looks like, masked up the blade to protect it and to protect myself. So I have just taken apart the JGT2 with these green poplar handle scales. I was not happy with the result that this the edge of my logo did. Let me see if I can just get it to focus here, because I made a mistake. Come on. Okay, I can't get it to focus. There. You see that? So that was fluid. There, you can see it right there. So that was fluid from when I etched it, and I etched it after one of the very last steps. I etched it, and I'm not happy with that. And I tried to remove it, but then you could see sanding tracks on here. Like, you can kind of see one there. It's not nice, and now I'm greasing it with my fingers. But so I have to redo this knife, and that sucks. I'm in a hurry because I have a back end. I have a back end that is calling me up in just about 40 minutes, and I have to get this. Hopefully I'll get to glue up this once again, maybe not, let's see. So I managed to sand the logo off and the flaw that it had up here, and now I just etched the logo back on, and now I need to prepare the handle. Update. This is the very last part of the video. I did get to glue up the knife before I had to go, and this is it. This is the picture of the knife. I didn't have time to film anything from there on. So this is just a picture of the knife after I glued it up and sanded it. And also this is the Bushcrafter in Decidine wood with a fire steel, and lastly the Hunty in orange G10, which is available on my website. Thank you for watching.